Motor vehicle shall have the same meaning as assigned to it in uh, clause 28 of section 2 of Motor Vehicles Act 1988. Non-resident taxable person means any person who occasionally undertakes transactions involving supply of goods or services or both, whether as principal or agent or in any other capacity, but who has no fixed place of business or residence in India. Non-taxable supply means supply of goods or services or both which is not liable to tax under this act or under the Integrated Goods and Service Tax Act. Non-taxable territory means a territory which is outside the taxable territory. Notification means a notification published in the official gazette and the expression notify and notified shall be construed accordingly. Online gaming means offering of a game on the internet or an electronic network includes online money gaming. Online money gaming means online gaming in which players pay or deposit or money worth, including virtual digital assets, with the expectation of winning money or money's worth, including virtual digital asset, in any event, including game, scheme, competition, or any other activity or process, whether or not its outcome or performance is based on skill, chance, or both, whether the same is permissible or otherwise under any other law for the time being in force. Other territories include territories other than those in a state and those referred to in subclause A and 2E of clause 114. Output tax in relation to taxable person means the tax chargeable under this act on taxable supply of goods and services or both made by him or by his agent, but excludes tax payable by him on reverse charge basis. Outward supply means in relation to taxable person means supply of goods or services or both, whether by sale or transfer, barter, exchange, license, rental, lease, disposal, or any other mode made or agreed to be made by such person in the course or furtherance of the business. 84% includes an individual, HUF, company, firm, limited liability partnership, an association of person or body of individuals, whether incorporated or not, in India or outside India. Any incorporation established by or under Central Act, State Act, Provincial Act, or Government as defined in Clause 45 of Section 2 of Companies Act 2013. Any body incorporated in or under the laws of outside India. A cooperative society registered under any law relating to cooperative society. A local authority, central government or state government. Society defined under Society Registration Act 1890. Trust and every artificial judicial person not falling within above scope. Place of business includes a place from where business is ordinarily carried on and includes a warehouse, godown, or any other place where a taxable person stores his goods, supplies, or receives goods or service or both. A place where a taxable person maintains his books of accounts or a place where a taxable person is engaged in the business through agent by whatever name called. Place of supply means the place of supply as referred to in Chapter 5 of Integrated Goods and Service Tax Act. Prescribed means prescribed by rules under this act on the recommendation of the council. Principal means a person on whose behalf an agent carries on the business of supply or receipt of goods or services or both. Principal place of business means place of business specified as the principal place of business in the certificate of registration. Principal supply means the supply of goods or services which constitute the predominant element of composite supply and to which any other supply forming part of composite supply is ancillary. Proper officer uh, in relation to any function to be performed under this act is the commissioner or officer of the central tax who is assigned that function by the commissioner in the board. Shall mean a period comprising of 3 consecutive calendars ending on the last day of March, June, September, December of a calendar year. Recipient is supply of goods or services or both, where a consideration is payable for the supply of goods or services or both, the person who is liable to pay that consideration. Where no consideration is payable for supply of goods, the person to whom goods are delivered or made, or to whom possession or use of goods is given is made available, and where no consideration is payable for the supply of service, the person to whom the service is rendered, and any reference to a person to whom such a supply is made shall be constitute a reference to the recipient of the supply and shall include an agent acting as such on behalf of the recipient in relation to goods or services or both supplied. Registered person means a person who is registered under section 25 but does not include a person having unique identity number. Regulation means regulation made by the board under this act on the recommendation of the council. Removal in relation to goods means dispatch of the goods for delivery by the supplier thereof or by any other person acting on behalf of such supplier, or collection of goods by the recipient thereof or by any other person acting on behalf of such recipient. Return means any return prescribed or otherwise required to be furnished or under this act or rules made thereunder. Reverse charge means the liability to pay tax by the recipient of supply of goods and services or both instead of supplier of such service. In supplier of such a goods or service or both under subsection 3 or subsection 4 of section 9 or under subsection 3 or subsection 4 of subsection 5, section 5 of Integrated Goods and Service Tax Act. Revisional authority means an authority appointed or authorized by for revision or decision or order as refers to in section 108. Schedule means schedule dependent to this act. Security shall have the same meaning as assigned to it in clause H of section 2 of Securities Contracts Regulation Act 1956. Services means anything other than goods, money and security, but includes activities relating to the use of money or its conversion by cash or by any other mode from one currency denomination into another form, currency, or denomination for which separate consideration is charged. A specified actionable claim means the actionable claim involved in or by way of betting, casinos, gambling, horse racing, lottery, or online money gaming. State includes union territory with legislature. State tax means tax levied under any state goods and service tax act. Supplier in relation to any goods and services or both shall mean the person supplying the said goods and services or both shall include an agent acting as such on behalf of such supplier in relation to goods and services or both, provided that a person who organizes or arranges directly or indirectly supply of specified actionable claims, including a person who owns, operates, or manages digital or electronic platform for such supply, shall be deemed to be supplier of such actionable claims, whether such actionable claims are supplied by him or through him, whether consideration in money or money worth, including which virtual digital assets for supply of such actionable claims is paid or conveyed to him or through him or is placed at his disposal in any manner, and all provisions of this act shall apply to such supplier of specified actionable claims as if he is the supplier liable to pay the tax in relation to the supply of such actionable claim. Tax period means the period for which the return is required to be furnished. Taxable person means a taxable person who is registered or liable to be registered under section 22 or 24. Taxable supply means a supply of goods and services or both which is liable to tax under this act. Taxable territory means the territory to which the provisions of this act. Telecommunication means services of any description, including electronic mail, voice mail, data services, audio text, video text, radio paging, cellular mobile telephone, which is made available to users by means of any transmission or reception or signals, writing, images, sound, or intelligence of any nature by wire, radio, visual, or other electromagnetic means. The State Goods and Service Tax Act means the respective state and Goods and Service Tax Act 2017. Turnover in state, turnover in union territory means the aggregate value of all taxable supplies excluding the value of inward supplies on which tax is payable by a person on reverse charge basis, and except supplies made within a state or union territory by taxable person, export of goods or services, or both of an interstate supply of goods and services, or both made from state or union territory by the said taxable person, but exclude central tax, state tax, union duty tax, integrated tax and cess. Usual place of residence means, in case of individual, the place where he ordinarily resides. In other cases, the place where the person is incorporated or otherwise legally constituted. Union territory means the territory of Andaman Nicobar Island, Lakshadweep, Dadra and Nagar Haveli, Daman and Diu, Ladakh, Chandigarh. For the purpose of this act, each of the territories specified in subclause A to F shall be considered to be separate union territory. Union territory tax means Union Territory Goods and Service Tax Act. Valid return means a return furnished under subsection 1 of section 39 of which is self-assessed tax which has been fully paid. Virtual digital assets shall have the same meaning as assigned to it in clause 47A. Voucher means an instrument where there is an obligation to accept it or consideration or part consideration for a supply of goods and services or both, and where the goods and services or both to be supplied or identifies of their potential supplies are either indicated on the instrument itself or in related documentation, including the terms and conditions of such instrument. Works contract. It's a contract for building construction, fabrication, completion, erection, installation, good improvement, modification, repair, maintenance, renovation, alteration, or commissioning of any immovable property wherein transfer of property and goods, whether as goods or in some other form, are involved in the execution of such contract. Words and expression used are not defined in this contract but defined in IGST, UTGST shall have the same meaning as assigned to them in this Act. Officers under this Act.